So in the last video we saw linear models and we came to a conclusion that ridge regression was giving good result without hyperparameter tuning. We saw that the ridge regression was giving almost like 81% accuracy, or it's like 81% it is giving good result. Okay, now we will see how decision tree or tree based models work. So over here we will apply the same concept of pipelines. So step 1 would be same. So as it is, I copied step 1. Then step 2, we will initialize the decision tree regressor class. Here the parameter we are giving as max depth is equals to 8. Now this parameter is a hyperparameter which needs to be tuned. It will be tuned if we get a very good result now. Okay. So I will explain what this max depth is. So in decision tree, what is the main funda of decision trees? Let me just explain. What it does is, if the dataset is something like this, for example, the dataset is something like this. Okay, the dataset is something like this, and here we are having some two classes. Okay, what are the two classes? We are having two classes as maybe this is a classification thing, but still it will work. Okay, the two classes are star and circle. Okay, so the first split would be something like this. The decision boundary of this decision tree algorithm would be something like this. It will split first here, then what it will do is it will split here, then it will split here. Okay, then it will split here, then it will split here, then it will finally split here. So you see one thing here, how many splits happen here. This entire portion is one particular unit, this is one particular unit, this is one particular unit, 4 particular unit, 5, 6, 7. So this is 7. So for this small data, 7 splits were done. Now you see in 7 splits, in each split it categorized data very accurately. See, if you observe this part over here, if you observe this part if you observe this part over here, if we observe this part over here, these all classes are one part, they have been classified correctly. This star, there is only one class of the star, but it is also classified correctly, right? This group is also classified correctly, this only single thing is also classified correctly, only there is a misclassification over here, and over here also it is correctly classified. So there are almost like 1 misclassifications out of 8. Okay, so out of 8 totally there are 8 misclassifications. So what will be the percentage? It's almost like 95% above accuracy. But you know what, this condition is known as overfitting. So this decision tree or ensemble methods, whatever we try to code, we have to be very careful when we are learning these kind, because these kind of algorithms, they run at the very end, they classify till the very end. Okay, so what do I mean by that very end is, basically until and unless you get a pure sample. Okay, let's say that I am having some two classes. Okay, let's say A class and B class. Now A class I am having 40 samples and B class I am having some 50 samples. So in total I am having 90 samples, right? So I will start my decision tree from this node. So from this node there is some condition or decision which is made. Over here also there is some condition and decision which is made. Okay, so over here A sample class I got something like 40, I got something like 30, and B class I got something like let's say that I got 30 over here. So out of 50 I got 30 here, and out of 40 I got 30 here. So this is still impure. Okay, this is still impure because there is having this node is having pure impurity of both A class and B class. What my requirement is, I should only get either A class or B class. Until and unless I get either A class or B class, I have to go splitting. For positive class, if I say that A class over here, let's say that A class got 25 correct samples and B class got, let's say 30 correct samples over here, still there is impurity here. So based on some decision, again I will split this. Here also based on some decision, again I will split it. So if it is 30-30, let's say that over here A got 15 and B got, let's say 40, B got something like, let's say 15 again. Okay, still there is impurity here. The classification is not getting done correctly. If you want to, if you are into metrics and all, so this is 60, right? So let's say that out of 60, let's say that 15 were A and 45 were classified as B according to the decision logic which was made here. There is still impurity. Over here there are total of 55. So over here I will again say that this was 25 or this was 20 and this was like 35 based on the some decision logic which was made. Okay, again there is some split. Until and unless I get either 15-0 or 45-0, I will split. I will go on splitting. That is the main aim of this decision tree if it is not properly setted. Okay, so if I just leave it, so this will take a max depth of how much, you know, by estimate it will take a max depth of almost like 25, and max depth of 25 means in the previous thing which I showed you, this complicated decision boundary over here, which was having many kinds of ups and downs, this which led to overfitting is nothing but because of this max depth parameter. So the max depth parameter is very important in decision tree and it should be tuned correctly. And for that we use hyperparameter tuning, which we will discuss later. I hope this makes sense. So now over here max depth we kept it as 8. Okay, and then the same story we will apply the pipeline over here, which is column transformers, and then step 2 is nothing but our decision tree digressor object, and then we will fit it, and then we will predict it, and then we will see what is the R2 score and matrix.mean. So we see that the R2 score was 84.66. that means accuracy in terms of regression is 84.6, right? Let's move ahead. That was decision tree. Now coming to random forest has its own, guys. Random forest is very awesome algorithm, and obviously this gave us very good result, as we can see 88.4. so random forest has many parameters over here. Random forest is nothing but a bagging technique that uses bootstrapping and aggregating. So what does this bootstrapping and aggregating mean? Okay, let me just show you what this bootstrapping and aggregating mean, right? So what happens is you are having a data set over here. Let's say that the data set size is some this is having some 1100 rows, for example, and this is the column. This is the column which we want to predict, right? So what happens is for the first 50 columns randomly I will select. Okay, so this is nothing but bootstrapping. Bootstrapping means randomly select some samples from it, run a decision tree classifier onto it, and get the score of the decision tree classifier. Let's say that yes count is almost like yes count is 20 and no count is let's say that S count is 80% and no count is 20%. Okay, so this is decision tree 1. So bootstrapping means subsampling from the original data set, okay, where the sampled data set size is less than the original data set size. That you should keep in mind. And aggregating means what we are aggregating? We are aggregating this algorithm. That is nothing but aggregating is nothing but pushing the algorithm into that subsample, or running the algorithm into this subsample which is extracted. So decision tree, it was run on this 50 rows and we got the result as 80% was yes and 20% was no. Great. Now what we will do, we will subsample again. Let's say that from this was top 50, so I will select now from 30 row, 30th number row till 80th number row. So this on this subsample I will run decision tree 2. Decision tree 2 I will run, and this decision tree gave me an result of yes was something like 85% and no was something like 15%. Okay, and no was something like 15%. Okay, then what I will do, the same process I will repeat. Now I did it from 30th row to this. No, now we'll do from 50th row to 100th row. So from 50th row to 100th row I will run D3 decision tree 3, that is third instance of decision tree. And over here I observe that yes was something like 80% and no was something like 20%. So like this like this, I will be running so many decision trees and I will be doing so many kind of samplings and everything. So by this, what is happening is the algorithm is learning from sample by sample by sample, and it is extracting information from sample by sample by sample, and it is collaborating them. So at the end, what will happen, d1, d2, d3, so on till dn, how many ever decision trees we are using, this all the results. If it's a classification problem, then we will see the majority. What is the majority count, whether it is yes or no. Like every decision tree is giving 80% yes, 80%, 85% yes, 80% yes, and all. So we will see how many such trees gave us that kind of result, and we will finalize that. Okay, and if it is no side, we will also see on the no side simultaneously. That is in case of classification. But in case of regression, what will happen? In case of regression, we will do mean. Okay, over here, let's say that over here, let's say that actual price was something XYZ, and predicted price by this decision tree sample, by this decision tree on this sample was something like DEF. So we will find the mean absolute error of that, and we will pick up the decision tree which is giving us the least mean value, mean absolute error, and we will finalize that. So this is the whole idea of boosting. This is the whole idea of bagging technique. That is nothing but bootstrapping plus aggregating. So this is the entire working of how a random forest algorithm works. I didn't go into very much detail. I just gave you the overview, and the math behind this is little bit complicated because it uses some kind of impurity scores like Gini and impurity to calculate, and there are various other parameters of decision trees also which we need to tune. So the number of decision trees, these are determined with the help of this parameter known as n estimators. So over here I kept as n estimators to be 100. That means I'm using some 100 decision trees, and random state is equals to 3. That means whenever I'm running this algorithm, the state should be 3, or wherever the data set is been selected, that should be in the state 3. And then max samples I'm taking out to be 0.5, max features to be 0.75, and max depth to be 15. Max samples and max features, they are going analogous to each other. That means in a decision tree over here, max samples and max features means over here, in order to save the branching cost, we will be selecting some kind of limited features only. That is the meaning of max sampling. Okay, so this is my random forest classifier, random forest regressor, which I declared this class, and this class object is nothing but step 2, and then the same pipeline, and then pipeline.fit, and then pipeline.predict, and then metrics and R2 score. Let's see what we get. We get 88.4% here. So this is a very good algorithm, and I will be using this algorithm for prediction now. Okay, so yeah, we will be using this algorithm now, and we will be storing the results of the algorithm now. Okay, so yeah, so I will be storing this. So this is nothing but import pickle.dump, and all these kind of things have been done. Just executed, and the model will be saved here, and then train.head, and then trainhead.csv, and everything. So now that was all about for the model building of decision trees and random forest, and we saw that random forest algorithm gave us a very good result here. Okay, and we will look forward for hyperparameter tuning in the next video. Till then, do practice this.